as a multiplier too often, in fact I think it was 50% of the time, identified outliers that were not actually really outliers. And so they proposed that people use the value of 2.2 under certain conditions, and it was based on sample sizes that were not huge and that the distribution was normal. Now if I use this revised rule of 2.2, I'm going to get different lower and upper bounds because the difference between Q3 and Q1 stays the same, 15, but I'm now multiplying that value by 2.2, which gives me 33. So when I add 33 to the upper quartile of 58.6, I get 91.7. And I do not have any values that are greater than 91.7. The largest value is 89.2. So using the outlier labeling rule with g equal to 2.2, which is the recommended value based on the simulation research and the follow-up research by Tukey and his colleagues, they found that we find that these two observations are not in fact statistically significant, if you will, outliers. And it's true also on the lower portion of the distribution. Because now with 2.2 as my multiplier, I can see an observation as low as 10.4 and it's not an outlier. And the lowest observation in these data is equal to 15.8. Alright, so that's the outlier labeling rule. And as a reference, you can reference either Tukey and Hoaglin et al., or maybe just the Hoaglin et al. Study. Yeah, I won't talk about this paper here. That's actually, it's this paper here. Sorry, I made a mistake there. This paper actually talked about the outlier labeling rule, and it was this paper that actually found that 2.2 was in fact the best estimate for determining the demarcation criteria for outliers. So I made a bit of a mistake there. Anyway, you've got these three publications to check out. This is the originator of the outlier labeling rule. This paper actually labeled the labeling rule as such, and this paper found that 2.2 was the best multiplier for looking at outliers instead of the 1.5. I hope you've learned something very useful here about outliers, and I hope you start using that in your research. Thanks for listening.